Okay, David here. Welcome to Detroit City Chess Club. More ramblings. Thank God, National High Schools last week. Kids had another pretty good performance. They weren't able to be competitive in the open section for the team, although I think they won second in the under 1800 and some good performance. We had players in the open section, so might be coming pretty soon where we're going to have to be competitive in the national high schools, although we are competitive already in the nationals, junior high and elementary. But for national high school now, you really have to have a team of like experts, and we only have like 1,900, 1,800 players, so it wasn't enough to be competitive in the open. So I made some flowers to celebrate. We encouraged the girls to play. So flowers, hopefully we'll give them out pretty soon. And I've been playing on chess.com this week, and pretty good. I got my rating, speed rating, almost up to 2,300, and my bullet steadily over 2,000. And I think I'm going to try to get my bullet over 2,200, and maybe even try to get my speed rating over 2,400. I put like 100 hours into it and a lot of thought. And I thought I'd do some random ramblings on artificial intelligence and consciousness as I was looking at the recent AlphaZero Google machine learning program that was doing, supposedly became the best computer player ever. And they've had tournaments between computers and the historical, how they trained the computers to... They were heavily programmed. They had opening books put in and all these rules that the programmers designed, as opposed to the new model that had generic machine learning, where they just fed the rules into the computer and allowed the computer to, so to say, think on its own, to using machine learning to develop its own strategy. And that first Google program, AlphaZero, dominated the top computer programs, and now they've been able to, using some of the findings of the machine learning on those programs, to reprogram in the old programs that have had slightly better results. But it was a little interesting on like what thought is the difference in direction of artificial intelligence. So little thoughts related to that, and my own getting my speed chess ability back up from having played in really years, to getting my rating back up. I beat an IM 3 games on 1 minute chess. I've been competitive with some national masters. And at the same time, there's like these little 8-year-old kids from like China and India that just destroy me. You're related to thought and thought processes, and what we do here in the coaching that largely use chess as a pedagogic tool to teach people how to think, and how the brain develops thought pattern recognition. So let me see if I could gather my thoughts. And I also kind of felt like the old school. I read a lot in the old school philosophers, where you're kind of like a warrior. I'm always on the battlefield, where I don't have time to talk about philosophy, study philosophy, study all the stuff I'd like to study, because I'm constantly on the battlefield, and time is limited. And think like, I was, maybe I could have been a competitive chess player. Chess is just a game, and the amount of time it takes to study, to recognize all these patterns, and seeing in myself the repetitive mistakes I make. And I've been reading the Nakamura book on bullet chess, where it mentions how a lot of times people will make the same mistakes over and over again. So I love the Bug House game. Bug House is a really great game. When I was young, I played that constantly. Team skill building, show people how to think, where you're required to have a partner, and communication skills regarding chess. So let me see if I could collect my thoughts, and it's related to a lot of my arguments is I'm on the battlefield arguing multiculturalism and immigration and Judaism, internal Jewish sectarianism, and all these different things that limit my time ability to dedicate to intellectual endeavors. But at the same time, being on the battlefield sometimes improves your thought, just like tournament play and, stressful moments where you have to think on the spot requires you to perfect your thinking. And, I've been streaming some bullet chess, although a lot of those have an open stream, just people talking at the same time and looking at my games, and especially the bullet where it's less than a minute, where it's instantaneous. One thing, the opening play, where there's precision in the opening, where you need to play the exact best move to produce the best result. And use a lot of memory where I'll fall into the same mistake patterns again and again. I'll make the same mistake in the same opening multiple times before I learn. So it's interesting, that process. And then sometimes winning one game. It's very difficult to win one game. Sometimes you're up material and there's a few seconds left and you have to make tens of moves and you have to know the instantaneous best strategy to work with. And on the spot, sometimes you can't figure it out. So that's pretty interesting. And I'll probably be doing more chess streams because it's improving my thought. Like I was at the Siemens conference, and it's similar to the opening play where just rambling off some thoughts largely for myself. I don't know if anyone's listening to this or I'm kind of a hands-off coach. Most of what I do is set up the board. Some of the kids come to me. There's a lot of players here that are about the same strength as me. The guy talking to the coach right now, he's probably better than me. The other guy over there is about the same strength as me. So, I'll set up the board and help pair people off or just encourage the people to play. And, I'm thinking more on the larger level of thought patterns and the relationship of chess to consciousness. And, say artificial intelligence, the original studies of consciousness, human thought, intelligence, chess has always been there for hundreds of years. The very first people hundreds of years ago who thought about intelligence and thinking usually used the game of chess as a jumping off point to try to understand how these things work. So in that respect, chess is largely a kid's game. Say like, oh, I won, I'm going to win a trophy, I'm going to be recognized for being really good at something. I don't expect to get my glory from chess. This is a volunteer activity. I'm happy to use one of my best skills to be of service to the community. And I'm very happy that the kids win and do well. That it brings me great pleasure that I'm able to use one of my abilities to be of service to the community. I've seen that the kids here in the program are dominating the state. Certainly best in the region, even the state, and competitive nationally. There's a news program, some of the kids, and so it's very rewarding and happy to have my volunteer service pay off in that. But I'm trying to put thoughts together relating to consciousness, human productivity, the ability of the human mind to accomplish things that people may not think is accomplishable. And so chess, like I did the video on speed reading, and there's so much stuff that's just interesting to me. I like to learn, I like to know about, satisfy my curiosity, and just useful, like the Siemens conference. I'm probably going to stream the foam conference. There's the foam show in Michigan. You have engineers from all over the world with foam products, and I have tens of thousands of pages of reading material, pamphlets from thousands of companies that produce different widgets, and I don't really have anyone to speak about with it. And a lot of people in the field, they want to make money off of it. They want to make a sale. They're looking for a use. So just the intellectual endeavor, like foam, what's the use of foam? How is that useful? And just the pure science. Do people really care about foam? And though, obviously foam is used and that's part of our industrial society, but, how much time do I have to spend and read thousands of pages about the science of foam? And I might do that, but that's why I'm studying techniques like speed reading and thoughts like chess, and even putting 100 hours into playing chess this month on chess.com. And, so I improved my rating. I have a fathomable, you can see my rating. You can look up Duvid on chess.com. I'm almost 2,300 blitz, over 2,000 bullet. And, the results, and sometimes playing the same players that were beating me a few weeks ago that now I'm beating. And, even say the average player, you assume I should be able to beat every game. Like, if you look on Blitz, I'm 99, well into the 99th percentile, which means that even someone that's in the top 10% of chess players, I should be able to beat every single game. But you have to be sharp, and you have to train yourself to not make mistakes. And you see young minds like this. We have kid Gabe, who's been coming a while, and I've sat with him. A lot of people has. And chess is relatively simple. It's just a simple geometric pattern of a few different pieces. So Gabe here is probably going to win this game pretty easily. I mean, you can see he's basically got this guy down to his king and bishop. He's just going to snap the bishop. So see, like a young mind, 5-year-old kid is you're really destroying this person at chess because it's largely simple patterns, and he's learned to recognize the patterns. And patterns get more complicated. And one of the factors is coordination of pieces, coordination of forces. That's why historically chess is the game of military and politics, because we're talking about the coordination of multiple forces at the same time, like armies and nations, white versus black. So, Gabe's been working at it for a while, and you see he's coordinating his pieces together, and that's one of the biggest things. Like I mentioned when I was playing it, sometimes you lose the thread where you're coordinating multiple pieces at the same time. You might be holding very complicated calculations in your head where you have 5 pieces, thinking out many moves, and then all of a sudden you kind of lose concentration or lose the thread and lose all your pieces because the piece coordination fell apart. So just see, you finish him off here. That's checkmate. So, I mean, Gabe sees its mate. The person he mated doesn't see its mate. There you see the woman got one of the flowers I made. One of the women who works there. I'm very happy to make flowers. Thank God we became good. We have corporate sponsorships. You see the names on the wall. A lot of the wealthiest people in Detroit. Thank God my mother was the lawyer from their museum. You see the grand bargain. That included hundreds of millions of dollars here. You see Ford Foundation, $125 million, Kresge Foundation, Kellogg. My mother was the lawyer who represented the museum in doing this. But we have corporate sponsorship for, there's a lot of money that could be spent. So there's always more money needed than available. But, in that sense, I don't have the money to really support the program, so I volunteer and make flowers, and very happy at doing that. So see, this woman works for the museum, get some of the flowers, but I enjoy getting the flowers and encouraging people, and it's something I do myself with my hands. In the summer I'll actually grow the flowers in my garden, so it'll be something that I grew from the ground and produced. As opposed to these I just bought, but it's something I produce with my hands. And it's the museum, it's like art, so the flowers are very appeasing and pleasurable. So I'm trying to put together these thoughts. I might do a stream on autonomous vehicles and the current state of driverless cars. A lot of talk about automation. Automation is extremely complicated as opposed to chess, which is relatively simple. So you could have a young child that could learn the rules of chess and produce results better than an adult because it's largely simple. Like usually they say prodigy exists in 3 main areas of mathematics, chess, and music, because they're basically simple. Mozart composing symphonies when he was 8. You got kids who could do extremely complicated multiplication in their head, and chess, because it's basically simple. But when something like engineering, it's not simple. You don't have child prodigies that understand autonomous vehicles, because it takes huge amounts of precursor knowledge. And so there are patterns on top of patterns on top of patterns. So chess, like the machine learning, where they just put the rules into the computer as opposed to programming, and put a little thought on, the power of the computer is greater than the power of the mind, which has been shown in all fields. The computer could produce better results than the human mind, although the combination of the human mind and computer together is a strong force, as now people prepare through chess. And even with the new computer that just through machine learning was able to beat the top computer, then they were able to take some of those things that the machine had learned and program that into the combination man-programmed, machine-learned computers that now are outperforming that. So there are a lot of this implication to thought and consciousness. So this stuff is very complicated, and part of why I make these videos is maybe to find people who are interested in cooperating. So I mean, chess is kind of like streaming, where the people who do it, they make their living, their fame from it. So they're not necessarily interested in just really understanding these things, but they're interested in making money and winning, as opposed to you're really understanding what's going on. So if I could gather intellectuals that are interested in these things, that's part of why I'm making these streams. Otherwise, I'm just talking to myself to record my ideas and listen back and think about what I'm thinking, because a lot of my, this is basically a ramble. That's what I'm doing. I'm rambling and stream of thought, just things I've been thinking about for a while, and how chess is helping me improve my thinking. But I'm very happy to see that we keep on winning. Very happy about that. Very proud of the results here. Shows the the power of effort and thoughts. Recognize the patterns and put those patterns into real life. Let's get Gabriel. He's playing Olivia. This girl's pretty sharp too. So she's probably actually going to beat this kid. I mean, Gabriel's pretty good, but Olivia's probably a stronger chess player. So you see that he's already won a little bit of material, and how the human mind processes these patterns, and then patterns on top of patterns. So that might be all I have to say for now. See the flowers. Olivia, smart girl, got the flowers on. I maybe have her name wrong. Make sure, but got this motley volunteer here wearing the flowers too. So see the sharp kids, young, learn the patterns, think about these things, have a clear mind, where they could just really focus on these patterns and have a clear mind. And that's why I see playing 1 minute chess. Is anyone seen any of those videos I've been making? Is that these people beating me might be like 10-year-old kids from the Philippines, and I can't beat them. I'm saying? There's 10-year-old kids in the Philippines that are destroying me on the internet, and all my knowledge and studying. I'm just slower and missing these patterns that the younger minds are seeing. And part of that could be clouded thinking, because their minds aren't clogged trying to think about all these other things that I'm distracted thinking about. And that's fine, because chess is largely to train your mind, and me trying to solve all these different mysteries of all these different fields that it's largely impossible that I'm going to be able to solve all these mysteries. I keep on ordering more books. My father keeps on ordering more books. I keep on realizing there's more things I want to study, and the time's just not available. I went to the yeshiva for Purim and Talmud. Thank God. I should be finishing Shas, all of Talmud, coming up this year from Daf Yomi, and that's just precursor, to the tens of thousands of hours I've put into studying Talmud, and hopefully tens of thousands of more hours over my lifetime I'll put into studying Talmud, let alone that time that I would have needed to put in to be a internationally competitive chess player. That time is just too limited. Hence these rambles on how the mind processes thought, how we could improve our thinking skills. So I guess I'm going to sign off. Shabbat Shalom. God bless everyone. Very happy the results we're producing. Very happy with my own personal results in improving my thought processes and being able to understand certain things. Like, hopefully I'll do the stream maybe Monday or sometime soon on the automation, but things that I've been studying, like engineering, for long periods of time, that I'm finally starting to understand at a practical level. Like engineering, the Siemens conference, multiple years I've been trying to understand all these PLC and plug and play devices that are used to automate factories, and it's mind-boggling how complicated this stuff is, and the decades of thought you have to put into it. So to make it comparable to chess, to all the patterns you have to recognize to be a strong chess player, and then all the mistakes, so that people make the same mistakes over and over again, and part of the frailty of humans. So Shabbat Shalom. Congratulations to the Detroit City Chess Club. Always happy that my service, and I did the service for God. I never asked anything for return. In fact, I donate my time, I donate my money, I donate the flowers. Never ask for anything in return. I'm happy to be a service to the community, and I'm happy to see my results go to the good. That these kids are been on the news, the papers. They're some of the smartest kids in the nation. They come here on their own, volunteer their own time. They're interested in the game of chess. They learn the patterns, and we'll see what kind of results. I've been doing this for almost 10 years. Coach has been doing it his whole lifetime, and you see the kids come back. I've been doing enough years to see these kids growing up. A lot of these kids, from the first day they walked into the club till today, so see more flowers. Happy to see my flowers given away. Get that on video. See, Miss Motley is putting flowers on this girl. I don't even know who she is, but God bless her. I like encouraging people to play chess. I got the sunflowers there. Okay, so Shabbat Shalom. Signing off. God bless.